Hey
Possibility.
everyone, you've joined me in mid-conversation with former Trump fixer Lev Parnas. Lev Parnas, if you would have told me 4 years ago, I would be talking at least once a week to Lev Parnas. I'm like, get the F out of here. That guy's just a terrible piece of you-know-what, and I'd swear and I'd never swear. Lev went to jail for many of the misdeeds that he's done, and since then, he has tried his best to, I think, make amends, and he had sources still within the MAGA world. I mean, this guy, when Lev starts talking and telling you stories, he drops names and it's wild. He goes, I was in the room with him. I spoke to Maduro. Let me tell you about Putin. And when Lev calls me up and he says, listen, I have a scoop, and this is what people are telling me, I've been talking to him since the summer. And so far, I can say he's batting 100 when he came to Dine Bongino, when he said, watch Steve Witkoff and his son. And he called me up today and he gave me some sobering things that he's heard, which, by the way, folks, we've been talking about since the summer. You have to believe the evidence of your eyes and ears. And we have seen the murder of Renee Goode, a 37-year-old white mother, unarmed, shot and killed by an ICE agent. As of today, both New York Times and Washington Post Lev have done their own forensic analysis. Say no, contrary to Donald Trump's lie, she did not run over or try to run over anyone. She literally backed up her car and was trying to move away. Uh, Before her body even got cold, we heard Kristi Noem literally call her a domestic terrorist and say that she was weaponizing her car and said that she was trained to do this. We saw JD Vance today at an unhinged press conference call her a deranged leftist. And you've already seen Megyn Kelly and the right wing, some of the worst human beings on earth, make excuses for ICE to murder an American citizen, a white woman. And what we've always warned about, Lev and I, is Stephen Miller, based on the evidence of our eyes and ears, wants to create a Reichstag Fire to implement the Insurrection Act and eventually go for martial law. That's the table setting. Lev, tell me what you heard.
Waj, I mean, it's as sad as it is. It's a very sad day, and I'd like to start off by everybody, if you could put in that comment area right there, let's say her name, Renee Goode. Renee Goode, Renee Nicole Goode. That was the hero, because I call her a hero. If they want to call her an insurrectionist, if they want to call her a domestic terrorist, I call her a hero because this is a woman that, first of all, is widowed to a, she's a Gold Star widow, folks. Her husband passed, served our country. She's an American citizen. She has 3 kids, and she did something that ICE wasn't there to come after her, folks. ICE was in her community, and she, like any American citizen did, she took her rights. She executed her right to go out there, free speech, and to go out there and say, no, we don't want you in our community. She went out there to warn the people in her community. She was a real, true hero going out there. And what we saw, Waj, and exactly like you said, and not only has the Wall Street Journal, but a lot of great reporters all over here on Substack have investigative journalists have broken down that video. And it's disgusting to see with our own eyes what's happening. But it's nothing new, Waj. This
No,
is not something that we should be in shock because, and again, I'm going to say some things, folks, and I want to make sure to make it very clear that in no way am I comparing it or making it, her death in any way the same as it. But I just want you to understand the pattern. Remember Trump when he made that phone call with Zelensky. We heard it with our own ears how he extorted the president of Ukraine. And what did they tell us? It's a perfect phone call. They tell us it's a perfect phone call until some people start believing it. Then after the
how about 2 days
elections,
ago,
Georgia.
Lev? Just 2 days ago, January 6th. Look what they did.
Yeah, January 6th. I mean, completely. I was going to get to that, but before that, you look at Georgia, same thing. We heard it with our own ears, phone call, give me 11,000 votes. They made you pretend like it doesn't believe. It's part of the brainwashing that the cult environment goes where they command. That's why you saw JD Vance, just like Wash said yesterday. Think about what happened a couple of days ago. And think about they tried to rewrite all of January 6th history by coming out and attacking the officers that were out there, the heroes that were protecting our country and turning it into a facade. Think about this, folks. There was another woman that died exactly 5 years ago, her name was Ashley Babbitt, and she was a radical. She was a radicalized individual that attacked our capital. She was
Correct.
a true insurrectionist, but she was a cultist because, and both of these women died because of Donald Trump. One was radicalized cultists to follow him because he told them to come and attack the Capitol to stop the vote. The other one was trying to save from his policies of ICE and immigration, save immigrants that were being taken off the streets and taken to God knows where and what was happening. And think about it. Think about the craziness, how one, they made a hero, a real insurrectionist, where they basically awarded her family money, where we have video of her staying there with a baseball bat, breaking through the halls. And then you have another hero, a woman that didn't trespass anywhere, didn't go onto any private property, didn't jump in and impede and hit any police, or didn't have no bat, didn't have no gun. She was in her own car, folks. She was in her car in America, in the United States of America, in her car, in her private property, a U.S. citizen, just saying, stop, stop. Masked men are going there, stop. And when they came up to her, if you really take a look, watch, because today one of the things I did is I really dissected that video. And I just want to talk about that for a second.
Sure. Sure.
Folks, if you really took a look at that video, and if you don't have it, I have it here. We could play it. If you watched it, I don't want to replay it 100 times. But the gentleman, and a gentleman, I don't even call it gentleman, the disgusting piece of shit, excuse me, watch for my
Yeah.
language,
No.
that
No.
shot
It's
her,
terrible.
that
Terrible.
that executed this young lady in front of the whole world in her community. He was standing there originally with a video in his hand with the camera. So if you take a look, as she's being approached, she's looking out her window. There's ICE agents approaching her. She has her window down. She's communicating with them. She's not threatening them. They're screaming at her and trying to pull her out of the car. So she's communicating. She's not looking forward. This ICE agent, this piece of shit, is videotaping behind. You see the video. He's there with his phone, and he starts going around the car. He goes in front of the car. There is no way in that moment, while she's looking at them with her car trying to pull out their say, she doesn't even touch him. The New York
No, we
Times
saw
did
the
a great
video. She
job.
doesn't touch him.
She
Both
doesn't
his
even
feet, his
touch him.
entire body's to
And
the left of the car.
he shoots her three times in the head as she's pulling away. And then the sick part is that he goes towards the car. I don't know if you saw the video.
Yeah.
Then he continues, he videos, leaves the car, not injured, nothing, folks, makes this sign, let's go, we're done here, gets in his car, and
And
they take
flees.
off, folks.
He
I mean,
flees, and also
please.
what makes it even worse, as she was bleeding or already dead, there was a physician there. He was videotaped saying, "I'm a physician. Let me check
Yeah,
her pulse." And they said, "No, shut up. We don't care." And then they denied her any medical treatment for several minutes. I think 45 minutes, right? And
yeah,
furthermore, speaking about the cover up, what came out today is Minnesota investigators say they can't access evidence after the murder and that the FBI won't work jointly on the probe. We're being run by the world's worst people, folks. It makes my blood boil. I rarely get upset. It's the world's worst. I told you so. I think of all the milquetoast centrists. I think of all the complicit institutions. I think of all the corrupt, cowardly corporate media folks. I think of all the people who said, be civil. Don't say they're deplorable. Don't call them racist. Don't call them fascist. And then I remember all of us saying they went after pro-Palestine activists. They went after undocumented immigrants. They're going after Haitians. They're going after Somalis. You're unleashing masked armed ICE agents who are completely untrained, and now they're recruiting the world's worst people. They've done a multi-million-dollar campaign. Literally, folks, we talked about on the left hook the news from about 8 days ago. They're openly recruiting like right-wing freaks, straight up MAGA like thugs. And I said, what's going to happen one day, Lev, if that person puts their hand on the wrong person, suppose a white person in a conceal and carry place, or what happens if they shoot and kill a white person or a white woman? We've been saying this for months, and here we are, January 7th, where they openly murdered a Renee Goode, a mother, a 37-year-old who had stuffed animals in her car, who was trying to listen to these conflicting instructions. One person said leave, one person said get out. And they even had a video of her. She paused her car and she went like this. She told the car to go ahead and pass, and then another
yeah.
car went, and that's what caused the confusion. And they killed her. And literally less than 2 hours later, Chrissy Nome calls her a domestic terrorist. J.D. Vance mocks and ridicules her as a deranged leftist. Laura Loomer says she has she and her pronouns. Jesse Waters mentions that she might be lesbian, as if somehow if you're lesbian or have she and her pronouns, you can die and be killed. And what we've seen, folks, since September, and I talked to Ken Klippenstein yesterday because Ken Klippenstein is the one who broke it. National Security Presidential Memo 7, which came out in September and which has the Trump administration unleashing the entire force and strength of the government against radical left wing terrorists or those who display indicators of radical left wing terrorism, which include anti American rhetoric, anti Christian rhetoric, a criticism of ICE. So we've always said, and we've always warned, oh my God, if they can call the rest of us terrorists, and by the way, at the same time, they said Antifa is the major terrorist threat. Remember, they said Venezuelans are drug traffickers and terrorists. Donald Trump can kill them. Pam Bondi, Lev and I have talked about it. Pam Bondi said, we're going to do to these domestic terrorists what we did to Venezuelans. And we're like, murder them? And the answer, Lev, is yes,
Yes.
murder them. And after murdering them, villainizing them in death by calling them domestic terrorists. With that being said, what did you hear today from your sources?
Yeah, it's sick. I'm disgusted to even tell you, but literally, I've spoken to over three people today, and they all verify the same thing. That literally, this is a major push right now. What you saw Vance come out do, what you saw Trump come out do, what you saw Noam do, they double down, triple down, quadruple down. They're pushing every single limit and button to be able to get another George Floyd situation, as they called it. That's exactly how it was quoted to me. They want to see riots start in the streets. They're trying to antagonize the people to such a degree that something happens. Trump was quoted as saying that then they could see the fight of the real might of of our military. He is acting like literally wants to use the military might on American citizens. He wants to invoke the Insurrection Act, and the one thing why they're trying to do it because they want to cut off the midterm elections, folks. This is not a joke. This is not even hearsay anymore. If you don't believe it, then I don't even know what to tell you by now. This is as good of information as I've been giving you. And with that, I want to say this. I don't want to scare you, uh, even though it's scary. I don't want you to stop going out there and protesting or laying your voices. On the contrary, that's our biggest tool we have right now is continuously to do it, to let our voices be heard. The one thing I do want to say is you have to be careful, folks. And I pray for each and every one of you and ourselves also, because one of the things I'm planning on doing is I'm coming to Washington, D.C. I got my shirt today, folks. Enough is enough. And we're coming and we're going to do our own thing. And everybody, and I understand. But I'm just saying, please be careful, because what I'm hearing and it's a fact. And I've never said that to you before, but they are waiting for something to transpire. And there's agitators that will be put into the crowds. I think you saw something already today. There was somebody there with a megaphone, screaming right way, at the crowd, trying to incite the
Yeah.
crowd. And I'm warning you, just be careful. Look at your surroundings. Do not stop doing what you're doing. Do not stop protesting. Do not stop going out and letting your voice heard. If anything, make sure we do it even more, even stronger now. And towards the end, when we get some more people on here, we have a plan, folks. So we're not just coming here and giving you information. Towards the end, we'll give you. So keep hitting those hearts. Make sure we are. But the information I'm hearing, Waj, is very, very disgusting. I mean, basically, this is part of a plan to incite, and you're going to see the Laura Loomers. You're going to see, and this is why it's dangerous, because right now they're also using this to unite the MAGA, the fractured MAGA, because this is becoming again a right versus left issue, just like they did with Ashley Babbitt. They used the Ashley Babbitt. They made her a martyr because she was an actual insurrectionist, and they tried to use her as a history. Same thing here, but on the reverse side, now that they're trying to use the Renee Goode story to be able to turn that into their Antifa, like you said, left wing, radical movement. Just think about what they're saying, the words they're saying, because it's very important to what they're saying. They're trying to insinuate that this mother that got in her car was being paid by some organization, that she was taught how to use her car as a weapon to go. Just think what they're saying, folks. With no, I mean, like, and they're not being held to no accountability to say, where are you getting this information? I mean, like, where do you say that? Think about, the HHS secretary came out literally within an hour, telling you that they were stuck in the snow. Think about it. She was telling you they were stuck in the snow and that she attacked them while they were stuck in the snow. Nobody's even. This is insane. And Waj, it's scary to understand that. I mean, and like I said, this is not a time where I want to say that we were right or we've been told, but this is what we've been talking about
Oh, it's
for
the world's
since we
worst. I
started.
told
So
you so. We don't want
it's
any, we want
disgusting.
to be wrong. I want to be proven wrong, but folks, I pay attention. I look at the evidence of my eyes and ears. This is a man who incited a violent insurrection. This is a man who pardoned the insurrectionists. This is a person who literally fits the bill to George Orwell's 1984 Big Brother. Don't believe the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was the final, most essential command of the party, right? Double think, double speak.
Yeah,
War is peace. Ignorance is strength. Look at what's happening, folks. January 6th, just 2 days ago, they tried to gaslight America and they blamed the Capitol Hill police officers and the Democrats, even though he's the one who incited. Every allegation and accusation is a confession. And this is also the man who, in the first Trump administration during the George Floyd protests in D.C., openly asked Mark Esper, can't we just shoot them in the knee? And Mark Esper said, no, we can't. He wanted moats with alligators. He wanted to gun immigrants. He said last October, I'm going to unleash the National Guard against the enemy from within. And folks, he did it. The Wall Street Journal reported in the summer that Stephen Miller was the one who unleashed ICE agents at 7-Elevens and Home Depots because he wanted exactly what Lev was saying, to manufacture a crisis. But thankfully, the local community saw it, didn't take the bait, and the LAPD then thanked them for peaceful resistance, right? They saw the bait with Charlie Kirk. Look what happened, folks. Think about it. Before there was any suspect, as Kash Patel was running around trying to wear a medium woman's FBI jacket, Donald Trump came out before any evidence and blamed the radical left. Stephen Miller blamed the radical left. They still say they and them, even though it's Tyler Robinson. It's so disgusting that last week, in order to attack Tim Walz, even though Vance Bolter, much like Ashley Babbitt, a Trumper radicalized by QAnon, had a list of 70 Democrats, shot and killed Melissa Hortman. They never talk about it. What did Donald Trump last week share? Remember that, Lev? He blamed Tim
yeah.
Walz. They
Tim
blamed
Walford,
Tim
yeah.
Walz for it. This is who they are. We're dealing with the world's most shameless, corrupt, evil people, right? This is a right-wing authoritarian force. This is 1984's Big Brother. And with our eyes, we have seen Renee Goode get murdered, and in death, they're still demonizing her. And openly, another word that Stephen Miller has openly used, and which is why I completely agree with your sources, he has used the word insurrection again and
Yes.
again and again. He's used the word insurrectionist. Stephen Miller in the summer said that we're being invaded. Because he said we're being invaded, they could implement the Alien Enemies Act. The Alien Enemies Act was used to intern Japanese Americans. The Supreme Court, in a rare rebuke, said, no, we're not being invaded. You can't use the Alien Enemies Act. And what Lev and I have warned, and not just us, but several people, is that if the going gets tough, and it's going to get tough, he's negative double digits on immigration. He's negative double digits on the economy. People have not forgotten about Epstein. He's negative 30. He's now got rebuked by 5 Republicans on Venezuela. That's a huge kick in the ass because they said,
That
whoa,
was a
whoa,
huge
whoa,
one
easy
today,
there.
yeah.
We don't want World War III. He knows he's losing, folks. He's weak. And what Lev and I have always said, a weak, cornered rat like Trump will chew through anything and everyone to stay alive. And folks, I don't know if you saw this. I'm going to read this, Lev. If you think
Please,
we're
yeah.
crazy, I'm just giving you the evidence of your eyes and ears. New York Times, he sat down with an interview. I'm going to read the first 2 paragraphs. Quote, President Trump declared on Wednesday evening that his power as commander in chief is constrained only by, quote, his morality, brushing aside international law and other checks on his ability to use military might to strike, invade, or coerce nations, I would add U.S. citizens around the world. Asked in a wide-ranging interview with the New York Times if there were any limits on his global powers, Mr. Trump said, quote, yeah, There is one thing, my own morality, my own mind. It's the only thing that can stop me. I don't need international law, he added. Quote, I'm not looking to hurt people. What more do we need to hear, Lev?
I
That is a
mean,
third world dictator. That's MBS. That's Putin. I mean, you tell me, what am I missing?
be honestly, I think he's even worse. I mean, if he's 2.0, I think even Putin and MBS are looking at him saying, "Holy shit, I can't believe this guy is getting away with it." I mean, even these guys are trying to. They understand we live in a different world now where you have to. They pretend to be, some kind of good guys. They pretend that they want. They don't go out. Trump, no, he's completely. He's like, telling you, look, if I don't like you, I'm going to take you out. If you speak bad to me, look at just the fact that he's threatening the Colombian president because of remarks he's doing. All of a sudden now he wants to take out Colombia, not because he had a problem with them prior to it, but now he has a problem because the Colombian president is speaking up to him. Anybody that talks up or responds to him, he's going. I mean, the man is definitely. I don't think. Look, it's going back to what we spoke about before. Also, he's not healthy. He is sick, and this is part of what you're seeing. Some of these actions and some of the things happening. Not only is he, not fully there, but you have to understand again who are the people around him. Who are the people really running the show? I mean, if you have not by now, if you don't know who Stephen Miller is and Russell Vaught, after we keep saying these names over and over, you should be.
Over and over.
They should be in your nightmares, folks, every day. You guys should. I mean, like my wife can't already. Like I can't even imagine because every time I say his name, I imagine that a little gerbil face, and I just want. Do something about it. And the fact, I mean, the fact that these are the people that are running the show and and you see them, just like you said yesterday, literally yesterday, you had Stephen Miller out there talking about the Insurrection Act. They're sitting there. My sources, I spoke to 3 different people today, and literally each one of them, like word for word, told me they're waiting. They're sitting, waiting, like watching TV, like a reality show, waiting for something to implode. Waiting is so they could use the Insurrection Act, so they could use the military, U.S. military, to show, as they call it, the Antifa and the left wing, what really the might of the United States military. Just think about what they're talking about. These aren't people. This is not America. This is not United States of America. This is a divided States of America. This is for only a certain group of people that, either agree with Donald Trump or everybody else. Just think about how crazy. Literally, Hillary Clinton lost her election because of the word deplorable. Just think about because she said
It
I
makes
just
me
think of
so angry.
because
The
I
Stockholm
was there.
syndrome, the
I
double standard.
remember, like I was part of that. I remember attacking her, like deplore. She called us deplorables, like oh my, and here we are, folks. Literally sitting here, people are getting shot. When he said I could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue in the head and get away with it, folks, he did that yesterday.
Mm.
Yesterday, a woman got shot in the middle of the street. That's because of Donald Trump. Doesn't matter who pulled the trigger. That was his policy. This is his America that he's put together. This is what he's inflicted. These are kids. We've spoken about this with Waj. We have 18-year-old kids. They're being dragged in. They're not taught how to be careful and to watch out for due process. They're taught to right now go in there. If you're black or if you're brown, if you fit the profile, grab them, throw them in there. We'll deal with them later. We're rah, rah, rah. The testosterone is going and they're standing there. And then you have to just think about it today, usually when there's a country should be united. There's never been an incident since when has a death of any American citizen divided our country? Just think about that, folks. Today we're sitting here. Yesterday, an American citizen, a woman of 3, a daughter, a wife, a Gold Star wife, a mother of 3 kids that are not now orphaned because both of their parents are died. And instead of the president of the United States coming out and making say, even if he didn't agree, even if they really did want to push it later, but even for one split moment to give America the healing, because what the American president stands for is all the people. This man is showing you they're not for all the people. They're only for a certain small percentage, because all the people right now are crying. All the people right now are standing and can't understand what's happening. And you have this monster, JD Vance. I don't know who's worse, Wash. I mean, the fake piece of shit to come out there and
He's
with
a horrible human
anger,
being.
horrible. Horrible. He doesn't. I mean, if I was a couch, I wouldn't let him sit on me. I mean, that's how horrible this guy.
You know what's worse about JD Vance? In addition to being a fraud, a person who's changed his opinion on everything with the whim, a person who's changed his name, a person who's been perpetually confused, a person who's been groomed by white nationalist oligarch Peter Thiel. This is a man who is married to a brown-skinned Hindu American woman. He has two biracial kids, one named Vivek,
Sick.
and his Hindu Indian immigrant family members have embraced him, and he's perfectly fine cozying up to not just a couch, but to white nationalists who openly mock his wife, his children, call them the worst names, and say that they're replacing white Americans. And he's perfectly fine throwing them to the wolves, because what happens if that brown family of his is driving at the wrong place and I sees him and he doesn't give a shit? He's the type of person who'll sell his mother on eBay for half the price.
100%. I mean, I mean, what I saw today, was like clearly, I could. My sister was calling me nonstop. I said, she was like so pissed off. I'd never seen my sister. I don't know if you'll meet her. She has this thing called Center of Positive Energy. She's always positive. And if they got to her, she called me. She goes, she was crying. She goes, I can't believe what is going on. She goes, how are they? How can he stand there, talk about with such anger, attack this woman, and stand there and pretend like this guy, talking about like this officer, like he was some kind of hero sitting in the hospital, like like we should be sitting there as a country praying for him. And this is the other crazy part, because they talk about, we're attacking the police. No, they're attacking the police
Yeah.
officer. They're setting it up. They're lying. They're the ones making it us against them. They're the ones going saying, look, putting the police. They're not taking accountability. Just think about it. They're not taking J.D. Vance, Christy Noem, Trump are not talking about I gave the order, they did. No, they're talking about how he followed orders, like he did what his training
It's
about.
infuriating.
It's infuriating. It's like, it's
But
sick to understand
but
how.
Lev, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
No,
Lev, but
no, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
I do feel, because I posted this. I said this yesterday. I said this today. And I feel very strongly about it. If I'm wrong, I'll always admit I'm wrong. I believe they have underestimated people's rage. I think
Yep.
they have underestimated people's decency. Because speaking about even your sister, a person who normally is not moved, she got moved. I mean, she's moved, but like to the point of,
Yeah.
just being shattered.
You
Philip
can't get a
Bump.
smile off her face. Like I'm telling you, like you'll meet my sister. People say, like, "What are you? You don't. You always, she has that smile." And today she was crying. I had to like really calm her down. She goes, "I can't believe what's going on in our country. Are people losing? Are people completely crazy?"
Philip Bump came on at MS Now. He was formerly of the Washington Post. He starts crying. He says, I see the image of the stuffed animals. He start crying, and then he apologized. He's not a man who's known to cry on television. He's a professional. You saw the right-leaning white dude. He said, I'm right-leaning, and this is wrong. I didn't vote for this. Killing a white mother in her SUV with stuffed bears in the back, with unarmed. And this administration and its reeks celebrating it, mocking it, lying about it. I'm telling you, Lev, sometimes all it takes is a spark. I remember several years ago, and less than a mile from where she was murdered, George Floyd was murdered in
Mm.
Minneapolis, right? And the right wing did the same thing. But sometimes all it takes is a spark, one
Yeah.
video. And I think they have underestimated people's decency and their outrage over seeing a white mom who left behind a child being murdered in cold blood, and then them literally speaking lies into existence, and saying, "Oh, don't believe your eyes." Even the right wing, even some on the right wing, even people who are right leaning, but probably not triple Trumper MAGAs, they're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And then I see weaknesses, because today I think some Republicans are worried about not just what's happening to the country. I think they're worried about what's going to happen to them. I think they're worried about their own personal safety. Five Republicans voting with Democrats to curb his ambitions with the war powers
That was big.
resolution. And
That was
then
big.
what just happened 2 minutes ago, while you were talking, the House passes the bill extending healthcare subsidies for 3 years, bucking GOP leaders. Its fate in the Senate remains unclear. This is breaking news out of Washington
Wow.
Post. More than a
Wow.
dozen House Republicans joined every Democrat to pass a bill to extend the enhanced subsidies, the sharpest rejection by GOP members of the party's leadership yet, which is
Wow.
huge, folks, because we've been talking about it. As of January 1st,
This is
the
big.
leadership was perfectly fine screwing over millions of Americans who would pay double, triple the price for healthcare by not extending the healthcare subsidies. And furthermore, you've seen stinging critique by Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene over Venezuela and also over the Epstein files. So
This is huge.
I know, folks, it's not the haymakers, but when have you seen five Republican senators tell Daddy Trump, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, let's curb your imperial ambitions"? That happened today. And when have you seen more than a dozen House Republicans reject leadership and join with the Democrats to pass the subsidies? That happened today as well.
Well, Waj, let me tell you, this is such great news, and it's better than even you. This is a powerhouse because I'll explain to you why. Because this just validates what all my sources and all of what people have been reporting about. What's that there is a major, in the Republican Party, that there's going to be a major shift come in January. We see the tight, majority lead that they have, which is what, the 3 seats, and part of what I was talking about is the only way we could get this anger and this frustration of everything out is we need to channel it in the right direction. And this is a great sign. God has just given us a wonderful blessing because this is a sign that means that there are people there that we need to move. And that's one of the things I'm planning on doing, coming to Washington, D.C. I'm going to come see you soon, Waj, and we're going to go to the Capitol. I spoke to Congressman Raskin and others, and people are going to join us, and our subscribers, of course. We're not going to do a regular walk, and we're going to target a group of, right now, we're doing our own research op-ed of Congress people that are on the vine, that are going to sit there and right now take the gavel away from Johnson. And we need accountability. And that's why, even though right now, today is a time to talk about, Nicole Goode, but I want to also say the one thing that's going to save us, folks, the one thing that unites this country, and we'll never forget right now, is the Epstein Files. It unites MAGA. It unites the country. Even as crazy as it might sound, this today should be uniting the country. But unfortunately, it's part of their division. It's part of them trying to, because if you take a look at all the television stations and everywhere else, you see all of the MAGA and the right wingers talking about how if you look at the video, she hit him. If you look at the video, and it's a he said, she said, there's not the unification to go. But we have unification when it comes to the Epstein files. We don't, and we need to use that. We need to use that now. And we're going to. We're not going to wait till March. We're not going to wait till the midterms. We're going to do it now. Because the one thing I could promise you, Wash, if tomorrow all of a sudden subpoenas start flying, and by the way, did you see who got subpoenaed? Les Wexner. That should be breaking news everywhere.
I
Les
thought that was
Wexner.
big. Yesterday, I said
This is
that's huge
huge.
news.
This is huge. Trump.
For those who don't know, Leslie Wexner is the billionaire, the CEO of Limited and Victoria's Secret, who, for some strange reason, decided to give hundreds of millions of dollars to Jeffrey Epstein. And furthermore, just decided to gift Jeffrey Epstein the prime jewel of New York real estate, his $70 million townhouse that used to belong to Wexner. He gave it to Epstein as a gift, as one does. And Epstein used that to rape girls, that townhouse. And furthermore, Wexner, what we found out from the latest dump was that when Jeffrey Epstein was arrested in 2019, apparently the FBI also was looking at 10 fellow co-conspirators. They redacted 7 of the names. Why? I don't know. We need to know who those other 7 names are. But the 3 of the co-conspirators were Ghislaine Maxwell, the French businessman who was found dead
Dead.
via suicide, allegedly in the jail cell. And the third person was Leslie Wexner.
Wexner. Thank you. And this is huge news. And the other huge news is, which a lot of people didn't might not picked on, but somebody like me that knows Trump extremely well, when I saw him, when I saw him in front of that retreat, congressional retreat 2 days ago, I just want to tell you, I went to all those retreats. I know how that works. I've been front row center. I'll show you videos of that. Trump is scared. You saw his words. He said something extremely important. They're going to come and impeach us if we
Teach
lose
me.
the elections. And he's not worried about him getting impeached, folks. He could deal with that. He's worried about, he understands that the people that we're going to go after are Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Pete Hegseth. These are the people, and they cannot withstand it. When the hammer starts coming down,
You're
it will
weak.
all absolutely. They will turn on each other like I can't even explain to you. But the number one important thing is, besides the accountability, the most important thing I want each and every one of you is that's how we stop the insanity. That's how we stopped him from going continuously, because he will have to then go on the defense. Because the one thing that he has lost total control of, and that is why you're seeing all of these things happen all over the world, is the Epstein Files. You have Dan Bongino right now fighting with Matt Gaetz. Nobody even knows about it.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you
Yeah.
did you see that, Zach Wash? I mean, this is just getting started. Dan Bongino is now out there. It's just a matter of time until the right moment it's going to clip. I have some ideas for him. I have a whole group. We're about to go. We have a whole volunteer group that we're going to attack Dan Bongino right now and make sure his life is going miserable. We were going to get to the truth and others. So what I'm saying to you folks, we have the weapon, and I want us to always make sure that no matter as what he does, he could go, bomb somebody tomorrow. That's part of the game. The only way we could stop him, the only way is take our rage, take our anger, concentrate it, put it into and think. We have the solution. It's called the Epstein Files. We have the people. They're called, Rokana. They're called Massey. They already have it all in place. We have the law. Trump signed it. They're in contempt. It's all done.
They're
The
stuck.
files
They're
are all
stuck.
over. It's a done deal. It's a wrap. They can't go anywhere. The only thing he could do is distract. That's why the quicker we stop him, the quicker we start putting them on the heels, the quicker all of this madness starts, and the quicker we'll start saving some more lives before anybody else gets shot out there. Because remember, as soon as we get the gavel back, the first thing we could do is stop ICE. We could stop the funding. We could stop
We
once
could do it right
Congress.
now, Lev. We could do it right
That's
now. There's no
we
reason
are.
to fund
That's
DHS at the end of this month.
Absolutely. That's why I'm saying we're not waiting till March. I'm planning on literally. I keep finding out. I'll talk to you offline. Maybe you'll give me some advice. But we're finding out what we need to, if we need a permit. I'm speaking to Congressman Raskin because I want to go into the halls with our group. I want to do a sit-in on some of these congressmen. But I want to do it properly because I have to be careful because I'm still on supervised release. The first thing they're going to try to do is lock me up or try to do something. So I have to be careful of how we do everything and planning it. But no matter what, we're going to get it done. We're going to make our voices heard, and we're going to make sure, because I think the number one thing was, if we all concentrate right now and concentrate, like you said, look at the two big wins we had today. We got the Senate stopped him about Venezuela. He's pissed off. Just now, the House, we had what, 10, 12
Well,
Republicans, 12. Just think about it, 12 Republicans joined, which is incredible, great news. So what I'm saying to you is, these are movements. So we don't have to wait until the elections. We don't have to wait till we're going to do it this January. Our motive should be to flip 3, 4 Congress people, and get them on the offense and stop the funding, stop the ICE funding, stop all. And then, folks, the problem starts stopping, and then we start curing, and that's the solution.
and also, folks, what we've always said is his Achilles cankles is the Epstein Files.
Yeah,
This is
Epstein
not to
Files.
distract. Look, all this is important. The economy is important. The dismantling of the public healthcare infrastructure, American imperialism, ICE, all of it's important. But then the strategy is, okay, how do you weaken this man? How do you hobble this man? How do you limit this man? And the one big weapon, there's several weapons. It's death through 1,000 cuts. But one of those scalpels, the big club, is the Epstein Files. Nearly 80% of Americans across political lines want the release of the Epstein Files. And it should be clear to anybody who's watching right now that this mother effer is terrified of the Epstein Files, that this is a cover up, that most likely he raped girls. Just sit, for those people who are a bit skeptical, just sit with this for a second. This man has no shame. Doesn't care that he raped Eugene Carroll. Doesn't care that he defamed her. Doesn't care that he's a fraudster. Doesn't care that he incited a violent insurrection. Doesn't care that he bragged about grabbing women by the peep. Doesn't care that he's mocked and ridiculed essentially every single American institution. Doesn't care that he sat there and bear hugged Kim Jong Un and Putin. What could be so bad in the Epstein files that the world's most shameless man will go above and beyond, bomb Venezuela, kill Americans rather than confront and release what's in the Epstein files? And that's how you know you have him. And not just him, a lot of powerful, wealthy individuals and institutions, and not just them, but the reeks who are now stuck. And Lev said it earlier before, the Christy Nomes, she's too far in. Cash Patel, too far in. Stephen Miller, too far in. Pam Bondi, too far in. They can't escape. Dan Bongino, he escaped. Susie Wiles, she gave herself a parachute 2 weeks ago with that Vanity Fair
Yep.
article. But some of these reeks, they're all in. Pete Hegseth, all in. I would probably even say Rubio, all in.
Oh,
So
Rubio,
these
yeah, he's done. Rubio, yeah.
so these people now, they're desperate dogs. I don't want to say dogs because I like dogs. They're desperate critters with their backs against the wall. And Donald Trump has clearly shown you, and through his admission today in the New York Times interview, he's beholden to no one. He's beholden to no international law. He's beholden to no treaties. He doesn't care about allies. He said he's only guided by his own independent morality. And this is a man who has no morality. So we have to go all in, death by a thousand cuts. But the big club, I'm with you, Lev, the big club, and just thinking strategically, is the Epstein files. I have not forgotten about it.
Oh, I
I
know you
keep
had him,
bringing it
my
up this
brother.
week. Khanna hasn't forgotten about it. Massey hasn't forgotten about it.
Yep.
The survivors haven't forgotten about it.
Yep.
Give it a couple of days. We're going to bring it right back. We're going to bring it
Yep.
right back.
Oh, I'm with you, my brother. And I just yesterday I had Epstein's attorney on, Eric Fundali from the Bloom Group, and we're all on it, and absolutely, and that's what I want to make sure everybody know, that we have not forgotten about it. Just because the media right now and is all over and everything else is happening, we have not forgotten about the Epstein files, and we want to make sure that each and every one of you know that this is like Waj says, death by a thousand cuts. But this is the big, his Hiroshima. This is the big bomb. This is it. This is the one that he's covering up because it exposed not just him, but exposed a lot of powerful people, a powerful cabal, and it's time. Enough is enough. Just like the T-shirt says, folks, enough is
Yeah.
enough, and it's
And
time.
and bringing back full circle to end this, I do believe the brazen murder of a white mother in broad daylight, Renee Nicole Good. I, I've been burned each time I have faith in my country, but this one hits different. I see a rage. I see a rage, and especially the shameless way in which they're insulting her and gaslighting us and calling her a domestic terrorist. I've seen a type of anger that I think is going to, I will say, Lev, that will move a lot of white people. And what do
Yep.
I mean by that? This happens to black people. This ICE has already killed at least 30 people, or 30 people have died in ICE
Yep.
detention. One person lynched. We've seen pro-Palestine activists, Somalis, Haitians, Muslims, black people, brown people. This has happened to our communities. But once you see a white mother driving an SUV, shot and killed, murdered in broad daylight, and this government then sanctions it and makes excuses for it, I think a lot of folks who are like, whoa, 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 that can
Yeah.
happen to me. That can happen to me. That can happen to if
Exactly.
that can happen to Renee Good and they can call her a terrorist after murdering her, that can happen to me. If they can rationalize murdering Renee Good and they can rationalize murdering Venezuelan fishermen and they can rationalize sending innocent men to be tortured to death in Seacoast, that can happen to me. And so wake the F up, America, exactly as Gerald said, wake the F up. At 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time, I'm going to put the link. Indivisible.org is having a collective call about how to organize and respond to Renee Good's murder. I had Ezra on earlier today. I've been so busy back to back to back that I haven't been able to publish the calls, the interviews. I hope you all pardon me. Usually I do nice write-ups. I'm going to do some quick jab. I'm just going to do like a little bit of write-up and post these up quickly because there's some fantastic information. So Ezra and Michael Blake were on earlier today. And then we had these two doctors on, Dr. Rob and Dr. Chris, about RFK's dismantling of the vaccine schedule. And now I've had Lev on. So we're going to get these up later tonight. There's about 2,300 people watching us. Lev, final word to you. Shamelessly promote yourself.
Yeah, first, Waj, let Ezra know if you guys want, get me on the phone. I'm with you, whatever I could help, coordinate, and I'm with you on this, and any information I could help. Absolutely. I've done work with them here in Palm Beach with Indivisible, so just let them know. Just want to let you know. But folks, the best way,
Oh,
the
yeah, and
number
also
one
we're on
thing.
Joy Reid tomorrow, apparently, you and me,
Oh,
tomorrow night.
yeah. Oh, make sure tomorrow, very important. Joy Reid, 6 o'clock. Me, Waj, and Joy together. It's going to be out of control. Make sure you definitely watch. But look, folks, right now, the biggest way you could help us, help yourself, and help our democracy is by building this movement, building this community as big as possible. Because right now, we're joining forces together, as you could see, all of us, to be able to save our democracy. And it's no more. Last year, like we said, it was about breaking this news, talk about this year. It's about action. It's no more reaction, but proaction. We're going out there and we're going to try and do whatever we can to stop it, but we need your support. The number one thing we need is for you to go out there, spread the message. As Waj and I put this out there, we don't have paywalls. The reason we do this is because the information is so important that we need to be spread far and wide. But sometimes a lot of this is with algorithms, and I'm learning it. And Waj is a bad promoter of himself, but I'm going to tell you, the way these algorithms are working, paid subscribers, the more you have, the more they put you on the top. And Waj is so cheap, he should have 1 million paid subscribers by now. He should be all the way on the top, because I haven't seen, like I said, it's not about me and Waj agreeing on everything. We might disagree on a lot of things, but the fact that this man is out there 24 hours a day trying to save our democracy, bringing you independent journalism, you might agree, disagree on certain things, but coming here trying to give you the truth, that's what independent journalism is all about. Not these big corporate journalists that are coming here that are just regurgitating the same things that are out there. So definitely, if you want to support us, if you want to help yourself, you know how I say it, help us help you. Become a subscriber, and if you can, become a paid subscriber, because that's what drives these algorithms and helps us do what we do. God bless you and thank you.
Yeah, your check is in the mail. That was well done, Lev. I have to Venmo you. I didn't ask him to do that. It was very kind.
I
But
love you,
yes,
bro.
subscribe, folks. If you can become a paid subscriber, great. I have a special on, as you all know. It's $3.75 this month forever. If you can't, I get it. Just subscribe. Like Lev says, I know it's weird. It's like the algorithm is gamed this way. They love the hearts and the likes and the subscriptions, and then they platform you more. It's disgusting. But so we're just telling you what we've learned. This is how it works. And at least, that's why I've kept it free. I know not everyone has the money. So at the very least, you just subscribe to myself, Lev. And if you like this information and you like this conversation, you believe people should hear it, wonderful. Just share it with them. It's all free. I've kept everything free. Comments are free. Everything on YouTube is free. I want everyone to be informed as much as they can. This conversation, there's nearly 2,400 people listening to us. Lev spoke to his sources in the Trump administration, and what we have been warning about, because we have ears and we trust the evidence of our eyes and ears, is they want a conflagration. They want a crisis. They want riots, because they want to use that as an excuse for the Reichstag Fire to crack skulls and go after Americans. Insurrection Act and, God forbid, martial law. If you don't believe me, they straight up murdered a U.S. citizen, Renee Goode, and they're so shameless and so disgusting. They're covering it up. They're not allowing the Minnesota police to have full access to the evidence. They denied her health care and a doctor for many minutes as she literally bled and died out. And now, even in death, they're villainizing this poor woman, Renee Goode, and calling her horrible things that I don't want to repeat. If they can do this to a white mom who was driving her car unarmed, what will they do to you? Wake up, everyone. Wake up. Thank you all. Take care. Be kind. Tomorrow, well, I might be on later tonight. There's a lot of news happening, especially in Iran, and I'm worried because of the crackdown against Iranian protesters. But I'm also worried for outside agitation, meaning Israel has already said that they want to come in and bomb Iran. And in addition to Colombia and Mexico and Cuba, Donald Trump gave the green light for Israel to do shit in Iran. So there is a lot of fronts happening right now, but power to the people, to all the people who are struggling for freedom in Ukraine, in Palestine, Iran, and in the United States of America, where we're going up against a fascist regime. Take care, everyone. Take care, Lev. See you tomorrow night. Everyone, be kind, be informed, and please, oh, please don't be a fascist. Join the call, Indivisible call at 8 p.m., and we're going to have this up on our Substacks later tonight. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Waj.
Take care.
And say her name. Renee Goode.
Renee
Nicole
Nicole
Goode.
Goode.
Renee Nicole Goode.